Hey, what's up, guys? It's Nick Hopner here, and it has been a while since I shot a video for the Magnetic Sponsoring YouTube channel, so I'm really happy to be here with you. Now, I was crafting the idea of the video, and as you'll see here in this PDF that is now a PDF, which you can download, I was just going to craft a couple ideas, and it got really out of hand. So I guess we're going to do a webinar in a video. It's not going to be that long, but we are doing a webinar very soon, as in the next few days. I'll let you know more about that in probably tomorrow, actually. I'll send you out a link. Now, in this video, I want to show you how to make more money with Elite Marketing Pro in a little bit of a different way. So we're not going to go for tactile. We're not going to go for a new traffic strategy or anything. I'm going to help you to get clear with your vision of how Elite Marketing Pro can fit in with your whole package. We'll get to that at the end. So, first of all, who do you market for? What does your ideal prospect look like? What clothes do they wear? Where do they live? How old are they? Are they men? Are they women? Do they have a college education or not? Believe it or not, Elite Marketing Pro is not for everyone. Figure out who this is not for. Figure out who you don't want to market to. And it may be for a certain group of people, but those group of people might not be for you. So you don't want to market to them, because as a person who is selling Elite Marketing Pro, you have to take into consideration that these are your customers as well. You're getting access to their email. You're emailing them on a regular basis. Maybe you're selling them other things. Who do you want to be your customer? Who do you want to come into your door and feel so welcome and at home that it's really easy to sell them anything? And so by doing this, you're going to actually make some people feel uncomfortable, right? And I was actually having a little coaching call yesterday with a friend of mine, and we were talking about this idea of making the wrong customer feel so uncomfortable when they come across your marketing that they leave really, really quickly. And now what that does is when the right customer comes along, they feel right at home with you. So who is your ideal customer? You got to figure this out. And in this PDF that's down below this video that you're going to be able to download just by clicking the link, right click, download that link. It'll pull up this PDF. Go ahead, print it off. We're going to go through a couple steps in creating your ideal customer. And you'll see by the end of this video why it's so important for you to do this. So if you're not very specific about who you ideally want to attract as a prospect, a customer, even just a lead, and really in a big way, even a partner, then you're going to attract the wrong people. You're going to be attracting the wrong customers, the wrong leads, because you're trying to shotgun your marketing all over the place. So you're going to attract people who are attracted to non-specific marketing, who are seeking exactly what you're seeking, is just trying to grasp that one sale or that one lead. You don't want those people as customers. You want the people who know exactly what they need, where they're going, what they're doing, they have a direction. And in order to do that, you have to have a vision and a direction yourself. So hopefully you're starting to see why this is so important to create the ideal customer. And when you do, marketing becomes fun, selling becomes fun, it becomes easy and simple. So how can they trust you? Now, there's a ton of different ways to market to people. We're going with the trust-based formula because it's, like I said, less tactical, more strategic, more long-term, and even beyond strategy, it's just a way of being. So there are two things that you can do without going too deep into trust marketing that anyone can do. So whether you're just beginning, this is your first week in marketing, or you're a veteran, you've been in marketing for years and years and years, this is something that you can take into consideration. Maybe you already do and you just don't know you do it. So there are many strategies, like I said, and tactics for attaining trust. Most are just short term. And if you're planning on being in business for the long term, for wealth and riches, rather than just getting the quick buck, then you can do so by using these two simple trust building concepts. And these are inspired by Dan Kennedy. I'm actually reading his book right now, which is why trust-based marketing came up. So these are two that I absolutely love because it works so well with our internet marketing, online marketing, even network marketing industry. The first one is familiarity. This has been said by a great many marketers. Actually, I don't even know who originated this quote, but it's be everywhere. And it's obviously a very simple one, so probably no one originated the quote because it's been said so many times throughout the years. But be everywhere means be in as many places as you possibly can with the marketing mediums that you're committed to. And we're going to get to committing to some marketing mediums towards the end of this video here. But when you commit to those marketing mediums, show up in them as many times as you possibly can, and that's going to get us into frequency in a second. Now, a great example of this, and it's funny because this quick story, my buddy Andrew Drawn, you guys know him as the editor-in-chief of What's Working Now. We were talking about Ray Higdon the other day, and we were talking about him as a marketer in our industry, in our space, our field, that we feel we can just kind of passively trust. So when we think of a marketer in this field that we can just, if we needed to go to for some kind of issue or something and we needed advice right away and we just needed it without having to think about it for a long time, we'd go to Ray because we trust Ray. Now, there's a lot of reasons to trust somebody, especially Ray, very high integrity, very straight talk type of person, but unless people see it consistently, it might not become familiar. So unless Ray didn't post a video every single day or shoot emails all the time, or we didn't see him at events and stuff like that, we might not know to trust Ray, even though he's probably a good guy, which he is, right? So if you could be a great person, you could be really cool, you could be fun to hang out with, but I don't know that. I mean, we don't know that unless you're showing up all the time on videos, you're showing up in email, you're emailing your list, you're showing up to events, you're showing up in some weird places. Maybe you're even on Instagram doing a weird photo at Disneyland. Frequency is what helps familiarity to occur, to happen. So frequency, the more often you show up, the more easily you're trusted. So these two go together really, really well. Obviously, they're a little bit different in concepts, but they work as a whole. So frequency, if I emailed you once per month, which is something that has kind of happened in the past few months, that's all you hear from me, your guard is definitely going to go up right away. You're going to be thinking, why is he emailing me? Is he trying to sell me something? What's he want from me? Is this spam? So we get spam complaints all the time just because leads are coming in from the weirdest places. And when we send out emails to as many people as we send out emails to, thousands upon thousands, even 10,000s of people, it's bound to happen. Why is that happening? It's because they're not familiar with me, because I'm not being frequent enough with them, right? It could be for various other reasons. Maybe they came into a funnel that didn't say Nick Hobner on it, which is very likely. But when you're crafting your message and you're crafting your marketing materials, people are going to be familiar with the fact that I just opted into a opt-in form that had, whoever, your name on it. So they're already going to be familiar with you. But unless you continue the frequency, they're going to lose that familiarity really, really quickly. So you need to be frequent with your marketing. Now, a little quick example, which is obvious. If I emailed you once a week, which isn't very frequent even, then you know that at least once every week, you're going to hear from me. You're going to get an email from me, and usually it's going to be an update or an invite to a free webinar, which is kind of cool. So I should probably open this email because it's probably one of those things. Now I'm becoming more familiar to you. You're becoming familiar with my email, and you're becoming familiar with the fact that I email you about webinars, and they're free. So you can go and opt in them and show up at the live event if you'd like. So that's how you become frequent. Show up often and allow your leads and customers to become familiar with you and who you are, and you'll create a trusting relationship with them. And that's how you become a top affiliate and a top earner in your company. This is why there are so few top earners and top leaders in our industry, but they're showing up, they're frequent. You can take this from their marketing. You can see what they're doing. They're very familiar to you because they're so frequent with what they're doing. And when you have an unbending trust of hundreds of people or thousands like some of them who will listen to you and buy almost anything you recommend, that's how you become wealthy and continue to be for years and years and years. Now, how to do this? Here's a couple medium ideas, which you probably already have heard of many, many times. YouTube videos are a great way, which you're watching a YouTube video right now. So obviously this is a great way to build familiarity and frequency as long as I keep doing it. Fan page postings, those are great as long as, once again, you're frequent. So Curt Malley talks about this in the What's Working Now issue, I think in September or October. If you haven't watched that, watch it as soon as you possibly can, because this ties in so well with it. Fan page posting, it doesn't work unless you're doing it every single day. Emailing, direct mail, direct marketing, Instagram stories. So this is something Dee Dee talked about. I didn't actually get a chance to see the webinar yet, but she talked about Instagram. Now, with any photo, and I've never talked about this before, this is actually a relatively new idea, but it's an idea that needs to be implemented immediately into your business. If ever you're posting a photo, an Instagram video, or even a YouTube video, a lot of times we post descriptions in there that are talking about the content versus the context. Okay, so this is a huge idea right now when it comes to marketing online. Even just marketing a photo that's not supposed to be marketed for money, marketing a photo to get read and seen, etc. So when you post a photo, next time you post a photo, don't tell us what it is. Don't tell us where you were. Tell us a story. Tell us a story about that picture. Most people aren't doing this. In fact, I'd probably say 99.999% of people never tell the story. But if a picture says 1,000 words, then the story that goes along with the picture is going to say 10,000 words. Does that make sense? When you're telling a story about it, you're giving us context. You're make me feel like I was on the beach with a parrot on my shoulder with you. Make me feel like I was the one who took the photo. If you do that, you'll start to create the habit of telling stories. You'll start to do this in your emails. You'll start to do this in all of your Facebook posts, and people will start to resonate with you because you're giving them context. Now, what I didn't expect to do with this document is create it into a PDF that is actually useful. I was just kind of creating little ideas and slides for me to talk about, but that's what happened. So what you can do is print this off. Like I said, it's going to be in the download section down below. You just right click on it, download to desktop, and then you can even print it off and use this as a little guide. Now I notice that some of the lines aren't all even. You might need some more room, so maybe you'll just get a notebook out. But let's go through this real quick. Who is my ideal customer or client? We already talked about this. You want to get really clear on this. You want to get clear on what age they are, if they're male or female. Yes, there's a big difference in your marketing when you know if it's a male or female. Many of my customers and clients are male. I still market obviously to the female gender, but many of them are male. It's kind of how I talk. It's just kind of my persona. So decide who your target market is and put down as many details as you can. Now, this is a really great question to ask yourself once you've done that. Why should I market to them versus anyone else? So get very detailed on this. Why them? Why should I market to them? What are the reasons for marketing to them versus any other choice that I could have had? Why should I market to network marketers versus direct response marketers? Or why should I market to, dentists versus doctors? That's a very clear distinction. But get clear on why should I market to them versus anyone else. And when you do that, what you're doing is what we were talking about before. You're talking about who not to attract. You're talking about who doesn't belong in your marketing. And when they come, you want them to feel uncomfortable, right? Now, what big picture idea or message can I put to my name? You want to ask this question to yourself. Just fly. What big picture idea or message can you craft for yourself? So a good step for this is, what transformational story do you have, or what unique skills or what different ideas can you bring to the market? You have something unique that you do. You have something unique that you perceive. You perceive from a different way than we do, from anyone else. What is that? Write it down. Become very descriptive and detailed about that. That's your message. What marketing mediums can I commit myself to for the next 12 months? Not the next 30 days, not the next 90 days, for the next 12 months. Consistency is going to build familiarity and frequency. When you can plan that for the next 12 months, I'm going to do YouTube videos and I'm going to do blog posts, and you have your marketing message so you know exactly why you're doing it and the type of videos that you're going to craft around that message, you can do it for 12 months. And when you commit to 12 months, you'll see huge exponential increases in trust from customers, in lead gen, all of these things that everyone talks about with the tactics and stuff. This is going to happen for you almost automatically just because you've crafted your message. You're attracting the right customers, leads, and clients. And now you have a plan to actually use mediums to share with them your message. And the last one is, how can I package, and this is huge, this is really, really big, this is what we were talking about that I said we were going to talk about later. This is the later. How can I package an offer around my message? So a lot of people, a lot of times, are trying to package themselves around an offer. Take Elite Marketing Pro, for example. A lot of people are trying to package themselves around Elite Marketing Pro by, and this isn't a terrible tactic, but if you want to go to the heights of top leaders and income earners, this is how you're going to do it. You're packaging yourself around it, as in your Facebook posts are about Elite Marketing Pro. Your emails are all about Elite Marketing Pro. Your lead generation tactics are all pointing to Elite Marketing Pro. Not a terrible idea, but not a top leader idea. What are they doing? They're crafting an offer around their message. So instead of them trying to fit into Elite Marketing Pro, they're finding a place for Elite Marketing Pro to fit into their core message, right? So that's why those 4 steps are important to go through before you even get to this step, is how can you now take Elite Marketing Pro as a tool, a resource for knowledge, for marketing and blogging, all these great things that are contained within Elite Marketing Pro. Instead of trying to fit your marketing message into it, try to fit it into your marketing message. And when you do that, you start attracting a more trust-based customer, right? Because now you're the one in charge, you're the trusted one, and you're referring them to Elite Marketing Pro versus trying to sell them into Elite Marketing Pro, then get them to trust you. You understand? So that is all for this document. This video has gone on for so long. I hope you enjoyed it. If you stayed with me to the last second here, thanks so much. I really appreciate that. I think you guys are great. Go ahead, click on the link down below, download that guide, print it off, really get clear on this. This is so much more important than any tactic that you can think of. Maybe it's not as fun, maybe it's not as exciting as the new shiny object, but believe me, the next shiny object that comes around, if you have this clear, you're going to be able to make it work so much better than anyone else that your mind's going to be blown. I mean, you're going to be completely blown away by how much better shiny objects work when you have a clear message and plan. So that's all for this video. If you enjoyed it, by the way, leave me a comment down below or even click one of the like buttons, share it with your friends. That'd be awesome. I will see you next time. If you do that, you'll be shit.